This is the Brave New Coin Crypto Conversation, hosted by Andy Pickering.
Hi everyone, Andy Pickering here. I'm your host and welcome to the Crypto Conversation, a Brave New Coin podcast where we talk to the people building the future in the Bitcoin, blockchain and cryptocurrency space. Hello everyone, Andy Pickering here, and we have a very good show for you today. But before we get into it, need to shout out our new sponsor, Nexo. Yes indeed, are you ready to grow your wealth with the world's leading digital assets institution, Nexo? Well, you should be ready, because you can earn up to 12% on your digital assets with Nexo's high yield savings account. That's right. So treat yourself, treat your crypto, and treat your fiat with the industry's best crypto and fiat services, which include compounding interest paid out daily. There are 18 available cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, various stablecoins, and many more. And 3 fiat currencies are accepted, the euro, the pound, and USD. And Nexo has up to $375 million worth of insurance across all custodial assets. Top-ups and withdrawals are available at any time, and there are 0 fees for using the Nexo Earn Suite. So, are you ready to start earning? Of course you are. Simply go to nexo.io, and of course that is spelt NEXO.io. And now it's on with the show. My guest today is Konstantin. Konstantin is the founder and CEO of Vaulty Finance. Vaulty Finance is an NFT vault that bridges DeFi and NFTs on the Binance Smart chain. Welcome to the show, Konstantin.
Thank you for having me today, Andy.
Hey, it is a pleasure. And I think to begin with, Konstantin, it would be good if you could please introduce yourself and just tell the listeners a little bit about who you are, where you're from, and your background.
Sure. Let's start with the beginning, how I basically joined the crypto. It was in 2016. I've joined basically because I was bored and was looking for something new and interesting. Since when I don't have any sleep, because crypto never sleeps.
Yes.
What else? Yeah, right now I'm acting as CEO of Vaulty, and also I'm founder. Recently, we completed an IDO and got initial listing on PancakeSwap. And it's correct, as you mentioned, we built on the Binance Smart chain.
So you've just had an IDO, an initial DEX offering. So it's a public sale. And well, how did that go?
Actually, everything went pretty good. We've been waiting for right timing to basically run the IDOs and get listed, because the market was in a sort of depression for a couple of months. We decided to wait for better conditions, and right now we are out, and our first products already available for users, and to be more certain, they are available for yield farmers.
Awesome. Well, tell us a little bit about what Vaulty is then. So in simple terms, how do you understand Vaulty? How do you describe Vaulty?
In the current version, it's a yield optimizer built on the Binance Smart chain. The users can enjoy auto-compounding features and additional rewards in a Vaulty token. Also, I want to mention during the first month, we will distribute a huge amount of newly minted tokens to liquidity providers. Also, I want to mention one of our best features is the profit sharing model. How it does work, basically 10% performance fee applied to all vaults, and not actually 10%, 5% to some of them, and it could be 10%. So basically fees, okay, once again, the best feature of the current version of Vaulty is profit sharing pool. The users can stake the Vaulty tokens. And how does profit sharing work? 10% fee applied to all vaults, and this 10% are used for buying our native tokens from the PancakeSwap, and these tokens are distributed to stakers of profit sharing pool. So basically, everyone who are staking the Vaulty tokens in the profit sharing pool are eligible for majority of commission that was taken from vaults, from all vaults. I hope it does make sense. And
yeah, no, I think it makes sense, Konstantin. So essentially, Vaulty it's a DeFi aggregator to help people find the best yield farming opportunities, right? And you can kind of access them through the Vaulty platform.
Yeah. Basically, if you're looking for yields, you can find them in the certain place. So right now we offer Dinus, Alpaca, PancakeSwap, and Build. And what is good for users, they can, in the future, they will have a choice to vote. They will have a choice to vote for their favorite tokens to be added. So we are moving to a decentralized manner to, oh shit, I forgot what is that DAO. It is, let's say DAO. In the future, we will move towards to the DAO, so users will have a choice to pick their favorite tokens and vote for them. And the team will add those tokens.
Nice. And so you built on, or you deployed on the Binance Smart chain, Konstantin. So I'd just be interested in your rationale for selecting the BSC as opposed to Ethereum or another smart contract platform.
At the point we've started, Ethereum network was extremely congested and fees were ridiculous. So we decided to stick to Binance Smart Chain. And I don't think it was a mistake because the volume on a PancakeSwap pretty decent, comparable to Uniswap. And at some point it even surpassed Uniswap's volume. And well, back in the days, Ethereum network was congested with there was a huge amount of fees. Last day, it was pretty much the same. Per transaction, per transaction on Uniswap, you had to pay like $40, which is extremely big sum for small traders, small farmers. Basically, if you want to auto compound your LPs on Uniswap, you need to pay pretty decent amount of fees. And if you do operate, let's say with 1,000 or 2,000, it's better to stay in a common pool, which is offered by yield optimizer, and auto compound it with like one transaction. Basically, you don't have to pay for every auto compound, just for a few initial transactions as a proof and deposit.
Right. And that makes sense as well, Konstantin. So if the Vaulty platform then it's a yield aggregator for DeFi traders who are looking for, I guess, just a simple strategy whereby they can optimize their yield farming. And yeah, you mentioned the auto compounding feature. I think that sounds like a good feature. You could kind of just set it and forget it to keep compounding those yields, which is always a good thing. They just kind of keep rolling over. So is there like a target kind of user of the platform? Are you sort of building this to optimize for a one particular segment of the DeFi market? Can you even think of it that way?
Yeah, currently we still staying under the radars. We want to make sure that our application is, we want to make sure our application is ready for massive inflow of users. And I think it's realistic to think of 33,000 of wallets connected by the end of the year. I'm not referring to TVL, but I think it's possible to gain the mentioned amount of users in the previous sentence.
Yeah, and did you say 33,000 users?
Yeah, wallets connected.
Absolutely, yeah. And that's pretty good. That is a good going for a new DeFi protocol, right?
Yeah. Currently, we have only 1 or 2,000 of token holders, but our goal is to start expansion in a common month. We have plans, but we are moving slowly just because we want to make sure everything is perfect as possible.
Of course, and well, that is always that's always the tricky bit, though, isn't it, Konstantin? Making sure things are as perfect as possible. So, how do you get there then? How do you go from say a few thousand users or wallets up and above 33,000? What's the kind of roadmap to get there, or do we expect DeFi summer season 2? Just to kind of bring a new influx of users into the ecosystem as well.
Well, basically for yield optimizers, that will be increasing amounts of strategies. Basically, as long as you add new ways to how to compound on a certain strategies, you'll be gaining new users. Pancake swap extremely popular, so our main focus will be on adding more LP strategies from PancakeSwap. We will be looking for fresh options as well. Pretty soon, we will be rolling out NFT products, which is quite popular at the moment. At the start, we want to introduce simple ones, but some of them will be already interesting because by buying and staking NFT, you can boost your yields initially only for internal token, which is exchangeable, will be exchangeable for NFTs, and later on we will most likely apply the same model for our profit sharing pool.
Yeah, well, this is quite interesting, Konstantin. So I think as you've said, NFTs are very hot at the moment. There's a lot of interest in NFTs as we record today. I don't know if you saw, but I think Visa Card, they announced that they had bought a CryptoPunk NFT today. It's quite strange, quite strange. I mean, I didn't expect to see that as a headline today, but there you go. There are some people saying that, they just did it as kind of like a publicity stunt, which also makes sense. But yeah, let's bring it back to what you're doing at Vaulty then. So yeah, just talk to us a little bit more about how you see NFTs being integrated into Vaulty, and what you mean by NFT rewards and NFT pools.
Yeah, actually, I've seen about Visa buying the CryptoPunk. I think it's a sort of sign of the general acceptance. Well, it also can be considered as a top signal, which is kind of can be at least partially true, but it's still general acceptance when Visa buying picture in the internet.
Yeah, it was great to see.
Yeah, picture in the internet for ridiculous amount of money. Let's keep the things straight. Well,
so,
they probably watching already crypto just not to miss the new technology which can be used in their business. Of course, they can't use it right now because of regulations, but they definitely looking after cryptocurrency as a whole and even NFTs. The buying of CryptoPunk is proof of that. No one can ignore it anymore. Crypto is going wild and going wide, I would say.
very much so, Konstantin. And look, I'm curious. I mean, answer this however you want. You don't need to say exactly where in the world you are, but I am curious, and I'm sure the listeners will be curious as well. So, yeah, what country are you from, Konstantin, and what country or area are you living in at the moment?
Well, currently I'm based in Russia. I'm based in a quite a small city. It's nearby where I was born. I was born in the middle of Bumblefuck. I'm not sure whether I'm able to say these words in a podcast, but it's the truth.
So when you say bumblefuck, is that your way of saying the middle of nowhere?
Yeah, that's correct.
That is hilarious. I'm pleased that we could understand each other in that respect. So, okay. And so you said you're in Russia now. Well, how does I'm sure you were a smart guy growing up, Konstantin. So how does an ambitious young man from Bumblefuck, wherever that is, firstly, how did you encounter blockchain, and then how did you end up founding a DeFi protocol from deep in the heart of Russia?
Well, I want to correct you. It's not a protocol, it's the platform.
Sure.
Honestly, I was always interested in new nerdy things. Where I was born, pretty much everyone ended up being interested in drinking vodka and nothing else, I would say. But I've spent a bunch of the times on video games on the early days, and later on I found about online poker, which was introduced to me by my close friend. And I was a poker pro for almost 10 years.
Wow.
Basically, I've quit poker in 2016 before starting diving deep in the crypto. I've left poker basically on the top of my career. At this point, I've been playing heads up for like 8 or 9 years, and it was a crucial point. Then one of the biggest poker rooms decided to close heads up, and at the same time, machines or AI become much stronger and much better than human beings in heads up. So I had a choice to try to learn new disciplines in the poker or go offline. Actually, I've tried to play offline. I went to Las Vegas for a few months, and I did not like it at all because it's extremely boring and tired when you're playing like one table instead of 4 or 6 at once. What else? Yeah, and there was clear stagnation in the poker. The new money were not interesting to join, and like monthly expectation was going down, and I made pretty decent sums in the last 3 years in the poker. So I decided to start looking for something new, and at some point, one of my debts was paid in BTC, and at this point, I've learned if someone wants to pay your debt in anything, doesn't matter, potato, tomato, you gotta take it. Just take it. So basically, I took debt in a BTC and start researching what it is. Well, from this point, as I mentioned at the start of the podcast, I haven't slept at all.
That is amazing. What I find fascinating about this, Konstantin, I mean, the whole thing is fascinating, but I think it's well known, and there's a crossover amongst successful traders, whether it's, I guess, Wall Street or stock traders, but especially crypto traders and poker players, right? There's, I guess, well, you'll know more about this than I will, but there's a discipline to being a successful poker player and being a successful trader, right? There's a lot of common skills. Would you agree?
Yeah, I gotta say so. Basically, you gotta define strategy and stick to it, because if you don't do so, you'll get wrecked. The goal is to stick profitable strategy, and I aim to long-term goals, not the short one. And the key idea is to exclude your emotions, like at all. You must be half machine or like machine.
Yes. And Yeah, I mean, I understand that. You've got to be, completely emotionless. You've got to be the Terminator, right? And so you said that you went to Las Vegas to play poker and you found it boring because I think you said because you were only playing one hand at a time and instead of, I suppose, being online and playing, 4 or 5 hands at a time. But what was that like? Because was there any kind of culture shock if you're coming from bumfuck wherever the fuck to Las Vegas? That would have been a strange experience all in itself.
Well, actually, in the fact that I was born in the middle of a bumblefuck, or in Culo del Mundo for Spanish listeners, I actually traveled quite a lot
Sure.
for past maybe 10 years. Expect a past of 2 because of coronavirus, which is impossible to move across the world. But well, I've been in Asia, particularly in Thailand. I've lived for 6 months in Mexico, for 6 months in Colombia, and South America as well. I've spent a few months in San Francisco, traveled across the United States, many countries in Europe. So it wasn't quite shocking for me to be in the Vegas at all. It wasn't my first like a trip and first destination to visit.
Understand. Got it. Well, so you're in Russia now, Konstantin, and how is I suppose the crypto penetration into Russia? Like, have does the average person, or has the average person in Russia, do they know about Bitcoin, and what do they think about Bitcoin? Do they know about blockchain? Do they know about NFTs? Yeah, tell us a story.
Though I think they know about the Bitcoin, but they don't know anything about NFTs. Most likely, they don't know, and we actually have no idea that what is the creature it is. Basically, they heard about Bitcoin because right at this days many heard of it, but I'm pretty sure not many understand of it. You got it to spend, well, quite some time to understand the technology, but well, they heard about it, but I don't think like an average person is interested in this.
Yeah, is it what's the legal status of crypto assets in Russia? Is it can the average citizen in Russia could they join an exchange or interact with DeFi protocols and buy assets?
Well, it's not prohibited, but I would say it somewhere in a regulation area. Basically, they most likely want to, government most likely want to regulate it, but at this point, we just have no idea how to do so. Basically, it was the same with the poker, where they wanted to regulate online poker, but they had no idea how to do so.
Yeah. Where are the best poker players from in your experience?
From Belarus. There is no losing players, only winners. It's a statistic. It's not a joke.
Why do you think that is?
Well, at some point there was databases with the statistics of players from different regions, and I've noticed Belarusian players only winning, they're not losing. Basically, you can read this as if Belarusian person playing poker, he's a professional and he will not give away his money. Yeah.
All
but
right.
The most noticeable players from the North America, I think, because it's the poker was born in North America, particularly in the United States, and well, the biggest interest coming from North America, of course, and the best players come from the North America. But yeah, Belarus, the far ahead if we look at the statistics.
Got it. Interesting. A lot of good chess players from Russia traditionally as well.
Yeah, I agree. And poker and chess is quite close competitions.
All right. Well, I reckon we go to a break, Konstantin, and I think it's going to be absolutely fascinating to conduct the very famous crypto conversation hot take round with your good self, which we will do in about 35 seconds. Back after the break.
Grow your wealth with the world's leading digital assets institution, Nexo. Earn up to 12% on your digital assets with Nexo's high-yield savings account. Treat yourself, your crypto and fiat with the industry-best crypto and fiat services, featuring compounding interest paid out daily, 18 available cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, stablecoins, and more. 3 fiat currencies are accepted: Euro, Pounds, and USD. Up to 375 million insurance on all custodial assets, top-ups and withdrawals available at any time, and 0 fees for using Nexo Earn Suite. Start earning at nexo.io. That's nexo.io.
All right, we're back, and I'm with Konstantin. Konstantin is the founder and CEO of Vaulty Finance, which is a DeFi yield aggregator and NFT vault on the Binance Smart chain. And look, Konstantin, I like to finish each Crypto Conversation podcast with a quick round of Crypto Conversation hot takes. Are you up for it?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, let's go. All right, just Crypto Conversation hot takes, quick, snappy answers. Konstantin, here we go. Where do you sit on the Bitcoin maximalist to multi-coin opportunist spectrum?
In the middle, I would say in the middle.
Nice, very diplomatic. And okay, well, Konstantin, what would you say is your firmest conviction crypto opinion?
Crypto is not going away anytime.
Nice. I like it. Well, Konstantin, Bill Gates famously said that we tend to overestimate what we can achieve in 2 years and underestimate what we can achieve in 10 years. What does blockchain and DeFi, what does it look like in 10 years' time?
I have a bizarre fantasies, but let's keep them quiet. But I think every year technology is proven that it can be used in the masses, I would say.
Okay, I like that, but I want to hear about your bizarre fantasies. What do you mean by that?
Well, the obvious one is replacing bank system, but of course it's not gonna happen because, well, for obvious reasons, it's not gonna happen, but it can go ahead, like along with the bank system, until it's regulated, in my opinion. Because if it's unregulated, it's not gonna be mass adoption at all. Sure. Unfortunately.
Interesting. Okay. Well, Konstantin, William Gibson, sci-fi author, he said that the future is already here, it's just not evenly distributed. Can you think of an example of the future being here right now, but most people aren't aware of it?
Yeah, future is here, but not many use it. Basically, DeFi, lending protocols is the future, but no mass adoption still, because it's 2021, but it's still quite early, because lending protocols allows to lenders and people who want to loan their money can interact with each other across the world without doxing themselves and basically doing it in a few clicks. Isn't it future? I think it's a future, yeah. Absolutely. And it's here.
Yes. Very nice, very nice. All right, time to get weird, Konstantin. Time to zoom out. What do you see as the long-term future for the human race? Do you see dystopia or utopia?
Wow. I never thought about it, honestly.
Okay, well that's fine.
I'm living in mostly in programmatic. yeah, I'm extremely programmatic, I think. So I think that pretty much nothing has changed in the coming 10 years. Nothing will change in the coming 10 years, which is a quite long perspective in my opinion, if we consider how things changing. Yeah, nothing is gonna change. Yeah, it's a tough question for me. I'm not thinking about such things, honestly.
That's okay. Well, finally, Konstantin, what is your favorite science fiction book, film, or TV show?
Well, it's probably weird to hear from the person from the crypto, but I'm not really a sci-fi person. Okay. Yeah, it should sound ridiculous. But I wanted to start with the Dust. It's the first book about the sci-fi in my bookshelf to start with. Not Dust. It's a Dune.
Dune,
it's
yes.
Dune.
Yeah, and I'm sure you've seen that there's a new Dune movie. I think that's releasing later this year.
It might be the true, but yeah, I was referring to the book.
Yeah.
Of Frank Herbert.
Yeah, Frank Herbert. That's right. Well, look, this has been quite a lot of fun. I have very much enjoyed talking to you, Konstantin. I hope you've enjoyed talking to me. Let's finish this off. So please tell the people where they should go to learn more about the Vaulty platform and if they're like a DeFi user, why they should get involved with what you and your team are building with Vaulty.
Yeah, if you are a yield farmer, especially on a Binance Smart chain, you've got to have a look. I mean, in the coming weeks, we will have decent additional rewards in Vaulty token. Our website is vaulty.fi. It's pretty much spelled the same as Vault, but with the Y at the end, so you know where to find us. And come and check the yield farming options that we're offering. Also, thank you, Andy, for inviting me. It was a pleasure to talk with you today.
Awesome. Well, it was an absolute pleasure to talk to you, Konstantin. So, yeah, nothing else to say, really. I hope the listeners can follow along with what you and the guys are building at Vaulty. But for now, that's us. So all the best and bye for now.
Yeah, thanks. You have a good one. Thanks for having me.
All right. Well, there you go. That was Konstantin from Vaulty. Slightly different podcast there. And look, yeah, Konstantin and I, we were just kind of chatting at the end. And we both agreed that, you know, we were both a little bit stiff to start off with, but we both loosened up during the course of the show. And part of the reason for that is, you know, as we're recording, I think it was reasonably early in the morning. It is reasonably early in the morning for Konstantin, so he was just waking up, whereas it's reasonably late in the evening for me. So I usually record in the evening. I usually record in the morning, but because it was the evening, I've quite happily had a glass of wine. And just kind of sharing some background thoughts here, listeners. But Konstantin was, you know, this is, I think, his first podcast. So he was just a little bit nervous as to how it would go. So I suggested that he have a shot of vodka beforehand. I mean, I was only half serious, but I was half serious. And so he has, he said he'd made himself a Bloody Mary with gin, which is exactly how you should approach a podcast about DeFi early in the morning, I reckon. All right. I do hope you enjoyed that. It was a different one, but I thought it was good. All right. Going to leave it there, listeners. Thank you very much for listening. As always, please do subscribe to the Crypto Conversation in whatever podcast app you are using. If you ever want to get at me, please do feel free to drop me an email, andy@bravenewcoin.com. But for now, yeah, that was today's show. This was the Crypto Conversation for Brave